Hello, welcome to What's Happening in Brazil. We begin with the week's latest news.
This week marks the one-year anniversary of an incident of police violence that shocked Brazil. A group of young people attending a street party were trapped by police inside a narrow alleyway. 9 died of asphyxiation. Every weekend, thousands of young people gather at this ball, which takes place in the Paraisópolis community in São Paulo, which is one of the city's largest shantytowns. According to the police's version, on the day of the massacre, trouble started after 2 people on a motorcycle fired shots at officers. However, residents affirmed that no firefight occurred. The case remains under investigation and is sealed. The 31 agents involved in the operation have been suspended, but until now, no one has been punished. In 2020, deforestation of the Amazon hit a new record. More than 11,000 square kilometers of forest were cut down. This represents a 10% increase when compared to last year, and 70% in relation to the average registered between 2009 and 2018. In order to reduce carbon emissions and keep to the goals of the Paris Accord, Brazil should have allowed for 3,925 square kilometers of deforestation at most this year. In April, Environment Minister Ricardo Salles said he would take advantage of the media's focus on COVID-19 to loosen environmental regulations and make it easier for parts of the forest to be turned into pastures.
The Brazilian government wants to control the organizations that are active in the Amazon. NGOs see the measure as a way to hamper efforts aimed at protecting the environment and indigenous populations.
There are more than 1,500 non-governmental organizations in Brazil working on protecting animal life and the environment. For the Brazilian government, these are not allies, but enemies. President Jair Bolsonaro has gone as far as calling them cancers and accusing them without evidence of being responsible for the wildfires raging throughout the country. Now, the government is planning on taking control of the NGOs that work in the Amazon region.
We have been working in the Amazon for more than 20 years, and this doesn't change the fact that there is no possible dialogue with this government. There is no way of formulating policies. The government closes all doors, has been closed off to dialogue from the start. They should be debating and discussing goals, measures, effective actions to control the wildfires and deforestation. But instead, their goal is to control the activities of civil society within the Amazonian ecosystem.
To resist these attacks by the federal government, dozens of Brazilian social movements have united to compose an open letter of repudiation to the government's plan. According to the Indigenous Missionary Council, these entities' activities have been fundamental in protecting the native peoples of the Amazon region.
These activities are collectively agreed upon between these organizations and the communities being directly affected by certain problems or by the inaction of the government. It's no use blaming the NGOs. They are there precisely because the government doesn't respect nor guarantee the rights of these people.
The debate about restricting the activities of NGOs in the Amazon comes on the heels of Democrat Joe Biden's victory in the United States and the expectation of what comes next for environmental policies in Brazil.
If this will actually change anything on the ground, it is hard to say, because it seems to me that our current environmental policy, which is a policy of destruction, an anti-environmental policy, it is a very strong conviction for the president. If there is one thing that Bolsonaro has been consistent on over the last 30 years, it's environmental questions and those related to indigenous peoples. So, of course, we hope that things will change in the sense of respecting indigenous people, respecting the environment, but objectively speaking, there is nothing in the works at the moment that will ensure this change will occur, just because things have changed in the United States.
On November 5, 2015, a dam run by the Samarco mining company burst in the city of Mariana, in the state of Minas Gerais. The environmental crime left 19 dead and much destruction in its wake. Photographer Isis Medeiros captured the impact the toxic waste had on communities, as well as the struggle those affected have faced over the past 5 years. Now this work has become a book.
The title of the book is 3:30. The exact time it was announced on November 5, 2015, that the Fundão Dam, located in the Mariana municipality of the state of Minas Gerais, had ruptured. The very next day, photographer Isis Medeiros arrived at the scene.
Foi partir da tragédia de Mariana.
It was because of the Mariana tragedy that I became a photojournalist. Until then, I worked mainly with social photography. I worked in events. I was already out on the streets taking pictures of some protests, but when the dam ruptured, I felt a lot of anguish seeing that on TV and wanted to personally go and see what was happening. I wanted to understand.
50 million cubic meters of mining waste contaminated the Rio Doce River basin, and 19 people died because of the dam breach. The local population is being affected to this day and is still fighting for justice and reparations. Isis has been following this struggle over the last 5 years. Altogether, more than 8,000 photos were taken. Of these, 71 are in the book.
Para além do apagamento,
I believe that beyond these communities being erased from the map, the material destruction of homes, destruction of land, of springs, rivers, the Rio Doce River basin, cultural, religious and spiritual things were also erased. Things that are invisible to our eyes, but that to these people are very meaningful and important. Photography has the power to rekindle memories in people, reach out to something distant, something perhaps imperceptible, but that for those close to it, who experience it day by day, is something that's very relevant. In some of the book's pictures, I try to find this history, drawing from people's daily lives. I was trying to express through images that which I had already felt, the things that people told me, that which is important for people to see. Since the book will return to these communities, I took great care in understanding the symbols which these images contained, the things I would see a certain way and they would interpret in another. So for me the book gained strength because these people were part of it. They guided me and showed me the way so that I could make the necessary decisions.
e conseguir levar as narrativas que elas acreditam.
It's time for Brazilianism.
Cambucy is a fruit from the Atlantic forest, native to the state of São Paulo, yet unknown to many residents of the region. The tree it grows on is in danger of extinction. It used to be common, but with the deforestation of the Atlantic forest, the tree is almost gone. Cambucy has a secret. It only ripens while still on the tree, and can only be eaten ripe. Therefore, the fruit is only picked once it has fallen from the tree. The recipe we'll be making is a cambucy mousse. When you peel the ripe cambucy, the skin will come off like this, look, in a thin layer. You will then know that the cambucy is ripe. In my mousse, we will only use 2 cans of condensed milk, half a dozen fruits, half peeled, half unpeeled. Just mix it in a blender and done.
Enjoyed the video? Then hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next week.